How can you properly support yourself during your recovery? What is really important? How can you conserve energy and be a better mother? How can you be a good example for your children? Join me, Nara and Nemira, for this Empowered Pregnancy interview with Dorit Palvanov, where we talk about how to properly support yourself during your recovery. Welcome to the Empowered Pregnancy interview series. I'm so excited to have Dorit Palvanov with us today. She is a mother of 3 and a holistic health coach specifically for mothers and daughters. She is the founder of Teach Your Kids to Eat Vegetables online program, Thrive Mama Mastermind, and the creator of Health Begins with Mom podcast. So there's a lot of stuff that she offers online. And can you tell me a little bit more about how you got started in this business and what you do?
Okay, so thanks for having me. I never thought I will end up in the health industry. I knew nothing about health, and it frankly never interested me. And so the way it happened for me is that it all happened after I became a mom, which was 8 years ago. And, you know, I had my own health challenges. My daughter had her own health challenges. And the way I always, I guess I was raised, is I always tried to avoid medications. And so to begin with, I was pretty holistic. And so that led me into more of like a holistic modalities. And, I became a registered holistic nutritionist and started working with parents, helping their kids with feeding and eating and different challenges. And now it's evolving into, it's so interesting because most of my clients are mothers of daughters. And so I see myself working more and more with girls. And it's interesting because I have 3 girls myself. And so yeah, that's how it happened for me. And that's the work that I do.
It's wonderful that you work with mothers and daughters because that's a wonderful group. And there's such a great dynamic between them. And we're going to be talking a bit about postpartum. And one of the things I wanted to ask for a first-time mother, what should they be aware of after birth? What are some important things they can know that they should know?
Okay, so first of all, you have to understand, we all know this, that the body had worked super hard to create a human being. Right? And so after birth, you might be having issues with incontinence, hemorrhoids, perineum, soreness, weight gain, loss of libido, hair loss, or even hair growth in weird places. Some women experience breakouts, stretch marks, sore nipples, and other unwanted things that are not fun to have. So the body goes through changes, and these are just the ramifications of this process. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know that healing and faster recovery is possible, but you do have to choose health. You must decide that taking care of yourself is important for you and for your entire family. So no matter what, please do not obsess about going back to your pre-pregnancy body. And I see moms do that all the time. Because motherhood will teach you all about living in the present moment. So don't waste your energy living in the past, right? So from now onwards, your main job is to do as much self-care as possible. And I don't mean, to get an occasional pedicure and manicure, although that is very nice. Yes. What I am talking about here is to be religious about your sleep and quality more so than quantity, about your food, and about your mental health. So 3 things: sleep, food, and mental health. And I've worked with so many moms who wanted to go back to their pre-pregnancy bodies immediately after birth. And the message that I want to pass on to them and to you is that giving birth doesn't mean that you have been damaged or broken in any shape or form. So I'm not talking about neglecting yourself, of course. The contrary is true. Given the minimal time that you are going to have for yourself going forward, I am talking about prioritizing yourself and choosing to do the things that will help you not only survive during the first year of your baby's life, which is the hardest year, but actually thrive during this year.
So talking again about afterbirth, what should a woman be aware of when relating to nutrients after birth? And what they eat in the food?
So postpartum, your main goal will be to choose foods that will help you heal faster and repair scar tissue if you've had a C-section, and also produce good quality milk for your baby. So choose foods that will help you to support the caloric needs of a new mother who is caring for herself, a newborn, and also any older children that she may have. So foods that are rich in iron are needed since most new moms are tired and sleep deprived. And also a substantial loss of blood may occur during birth. So supplementing with iron and eating iron-rich foods can definitely support you with that. So foods like beef, turkey, and chicken are high in iron, and so are legumes, spinach, and kale. Now, the other thing is eating omega-3 fatty acids.
Mm-hmm.
So women who have just given birth, particularly those who are breastfeeding, they need omega-3 fatty acids in their diet. And in particular, something that is called DHA. So we hear that a lot in the mainstream. And so to meet that need, moms they can add foods to their diets that are high in DHA. So these foods are salmon and trout. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can also get omega-3s from flax seeds, from soy, from GMO, from non-GMO soy, walnuts, and pumpkin seeds. The other nutrient would be calcium. And women need appropriate amounts of calcium in their diet at all stages of life, right? And new moms are no exception. So to get enough calcium in the diet, I recommend consuming fermented dairy products, so things like yogurt and kefir, and then dark leafy greens, so kale, spinach, dark kale, red kale, broccoli, nuts, and seeds. And another thing to remember is that if you are choosing a calcium supplement, to always make sure that you get the one that is mediated with magnesium. And I say mediated on purpose because calcium and magnesium work in partnership inside of the body. So it would not be right to just supplement with calcium. You always want to create that balance in the body between calcium and magnesium. Now, that being said, I want to stress that although food is important, I don't recommend seeking out overcomplicated recipes, and I see moms doing that all the time. especially when you're getting into the health, and you really want and I mean, honestly, like, you go online, you go on Pinterest, you see all these beautifully meals, but the key is to make choices for meals and snacks that are helpful but take little to no preparation to make, right? Because your time is very minimal and you want to put as much nutrition as you can into that time. So some examples include things like carrots and hummus, pre-cut fruits and vegetables, yogurt, hard-boiled eggs, granola bars, low-fat cheese, grapes, bananas, raisins, nuts, and whole wheat bread or muffins. So really simplifying this sort of idealized, health or how it should look like, really all usually comes down to just making things as easy and as simple as it can be to actually put as much nutrition inside of your body. And the beauty here is when you are making it a priority to eat better and support yourself, your child, and especially your girls, your daughters, they will grow up doing the same, right? So you are laying out the foundation for them for the rest of their life.
That's such a wonderful message about laying that foundation for your kids, for their future, as well as for yours. So you talked about earlier self-care. Can you talk a bit more about the importance of self-care for women postpartum?
Yeah. So if this is your first baby, then until the baby is born, you have all the time in the world to get things done. You have the freedom to come and go, to stay up late, to binge watch on Netflix, to eat whatever you want, to spend as much time as you want in the bathroom, etc., etc. Now, once the baby is born, your mama bear instinct is being turned on, and you're basically going to live and breathe this baby, right? And he or she becomes the focal point of your attention. And this is a good thing, and it's amazing, and it's totally normal. And in fact, we are designed to nurture and look after our babies. Otherwise, we would not be able to survive as species. However, after a while, a nagging feeling starts creeping up. So this feeling of exhaustion, fatigue, and you might also experience a strong sense of regret, or you would want to run away or escape your current reality. A lot of women experience postpartum depression. And so from my own experience, for example, I've noticed that I would scroll mindlessly on Facebook. I would spend too much time cleaning the house or doing other things around the house, which was basically my way of searching for meaning and finding a purpose for my days. And then you ask yourself this question: is that all there is to it? Right? There is this beautiful and romantic picture that we all have before we become a mom, right? We all visualize ourselves sitting quietly and in serenity, holding this sweet little baby, breastfeeding it. But after a while, this image is starting to corrode you, right? Is this what I'm going to do all day, every day for the rest of my life, right? I want more. I want out. I need a change. And many moms, what happens, especially for first-time moms, many moms seclude themselves, and instead of surrounding themselves with other moms who experience the same thing. So when it comes to self-care, first thing is understanding that as women, we are all wired for connection. We thrive on sharing, on conversing, talking, listening, and understanding each other. So, and there is so much healing in connecting with other women who go through the same experience as yourself. So as you know, becoming a mother in this transition from, especially when I say this, I especially refer to women who first become first-time moms. You will have to learn to prioritize, to manage yourself in a more efficient and practical manner. Yeah. And you have your whole life for that. So, you know, give yourself some slack. And I like to think about self-care in terms of sustainability. So find the things that make you feel good and actually stick to them, right? Long term. So again, I'm not talking about an occasional manicure, pedicure once in a while, which is amazing. However, I am talking about a dedicated yoga practice, for example, or joining a mastermind for moms who share a similar goal, journaling, meditation, sleep, asking for help, right? Self-care has got to be a non-negotiable, and you have to create boundaries around it and protect your time and your intentions. So that's what I mean by self-care.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about is the energy conservation principle. So what is the energy conservation principle, and how can this be helpful to new mothers?
Okay. So anything in life, and I think you know this, anything in life requires energy. And without energy, there wouldn't be movement, there wouldn't be flow, and life wouldn't be possible as well, right? So the energy conservation principle is basically understanding that because your energy is limited, you have got to preserve it for what matters the most and not allow energy to leak out. So some examples of energy leaks could be hanging out with negative people, comparing yourself to other moms who might look prettier, more put together, skinnier, blah, blah, blah. Other things would be wasting too much time in the kitchen trying to create elaborate so-called healthy meals, or even spending too much time in front of the TV, feeling sorry for yourself, blame other people for whatever, you know, and this list goes on and on and on. And all these things, they do not serve you or your baby and your new family, right? So one of the most beautiful things about motherhood is that you are learning to be in tune with your inner wise mother, who will always guide and support you in the right direction if you let her in. And once you become a mother, and if you want to do a really good job at raising a good human being who will then grow up and become someone we actually need more of in the world, there is no place for victimhood. So in order to raise good kids, we must first raise ourselves. We must constantly parent and mother ourselves, and from that place to raise our families. So now is the time to prioritize and choose only the things that bring you closer to your goals, whether they are your personal, parenting, or financial goals. You have to protect your energy, and then that will serve you back.
So for a woman who is pregnant or postpartum, is there a good time that they can start working with someone like you? and work with you in what you do and how you help women?
So someone who I wouldn't recommend someone to work with me during pregnancy, because I think this is the time you should just, take as much care of yourself and actually, your body, and just hibernate. The best time to work with someone like me would be around 6 months postpartum. And I say that because it takes some time to sort of get the hang of it, right? The first 6 months is all about taking care of the baby and learning. And I mean, for someone who is first-time mother, even diapering is, it's a skill you need to learn. And so around 6 months, a lot of women, they feel like they have neglected their own health, and also that craving for community. So in my program, what I do, my program is called Thrive, and it's geared towards mothers who are taking care of other people. I work mostly with moms who raise girls, because that dynamic of, a mother and a daughter, it just fascinates me. And also this dynamic, it's so important to how I can already see that this dynamic, and in terms of behavior and the patterning, the generational patterning, it's just sort of going from mother to daughter to mother to daughter, right, across generations. And so it's really interesting for me when I work with moms, when we sort of clear up and clean and make sure that they are acquiring healthier habits and new patterns of behavior, and really learn to take care of themselves. Usually this will be passed on to their girls as well. So this is what I do with the program, and we do things. We target. It's a year-long mastermind program, and I do it for a year because we're all busy, and it takes time to get into the flow. So we talk about things like, how to boost your energy, how to clear brain fog, how to heal inflammation, how to lose the stubborn weight, about fatigue. We talk about sleep. We talk about balancing your thyroid and also your adrenal glands. So there's a lot of learning about your female body in this program. You will actually learn about, how do I, feel good in my own skin as a female, right? And so later in the program, we get into talking about sexuality and how the menstrual cycle is synced with the moon, with the phases of the moon. The program is really rich in content, but also this component of community and women who have the same interest, and we're basically learning from each other. And of course, inspiring our girls to do the same.
Yeah. Passing on that message to the next generation.
Exactly. Yes.
So if people want to find you online, and so anyone who's watching this wants to find you, can you let them know the best place that your offerings can be found?
Yeah, absolutely. So people can find me on my website. It's healthbeginswithmom.com. You can also tune into my podcast. It's also called Health Begins with Mom Podcast. You can find it on iTunes or on Stitcher. And you can also listen on my website. If you go to healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. You're very welcome to join my Facebook group. It's free, but it's a closed group. You have to request to join. It's called Busy Moms Get Healthy. You're also always welcome to find me on Facebook. I go under Dorit Palvanov. And if you have a particular question related to health, postpartum health, even to your daughter's health, you are always welcome to email me, to send me an email. My email is dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com.
So that you have so many offerings and so much people can find. So hopefully they'll go to your website, have a good look, and look at everything that they can get from you, since you give out so many wonderful things to the world. So I want to thank you for being part of this and sharing all of your knowledge with our audience.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for doing this and opening the stage for these moms and sharing your light with the world.